what is happening in Gaza is absolutely terrifying. In my last 29 years living in the Gaza Strip, this is the worst night by no comparison. This is the worst night. And what is really most scary that before I used to tell people, well, try to avoid areas where Hamas residents or Hamas people are living. But nowadays I changed my theory and I start to tell people to try to avoid places where children are located. Israel is targeting children in the Gaza Strip. Most of the airstrikes, most of the bombs, most of the artillery shelling that targets people is mostly children in all parts of the Gaza Strip. I'll focus a little bit on the humanitarian side, since Sharif focused more on the other side of the on the ground and what's happening. Nowadays, if you see in my background at this moment, the only power plant in Gaza is bombed. If that means something, it means, according to officials, that we will have about 1 year of no electricity and no light if they are not able to solve the crisis soon. Rafah crossing is closed. There is nowhere to hide. There is nowhere to run to. Unlike many places or war zones, the humanitarian crises are growing in the Gaza Strip. The people in Khan Yunis and Rafah are unable to make phone calls. The massacre this morning at Al-Najjar family, where 18 family members were killed, was a catastrophe, and people were not able to make one single phone call to call an ambulance or rescue teams to evacuate the bodies under the ground. The situation as it is quite deteriorating. I'm afraid it's going to get even much worse in the coming hours. As I've said, the target is mostly children. We hear bombs now and then, and we hear more casualties and more people who are being bombed. I don't know if you hear right now in the background, but there is more bombing that is happening at the moment as I speak.
The main issue for Hamas is ending the blockade of Gaza. Can you talk about why this is such a critical issue for Gazans for Gazans who are willing to sacrifice their lives for the siege to be lifted?
Remember that this is not a demand by Hamas. This is also a demand by the international community. The UN have always called on Israel to lift the blockade, to open the borders and make life possible. To lift the blockade, it's pretty easy. It's pretty easy equation here. Israel will have to open the border. If you remember, in January 2008, when Palestinians knocked down the wall between the Gaza Strip and Egypt, there was not one single rocket that was fired into Israel. If that indicates to you something, it shows that Palestinians just want open borders, and they want lifting the blockade, and they want to enjoy their life like the rest of the neighbors. And Israel is not giving the chance for the Palestinians to basically get in and outside of the Gaza Strip. I'm afraid that we are going to have a more radical generations in the Gaza Strip, and I fear the future of Gaza, and I fear the future of the West Bank, and I fear the future of the region if the international community is not acting now to end the blockade and to end the aggression in Gaza and to make sure that people are safe and secure. There is nowhere safe, there is nowhere secure. You're being bombed constantly by Israeli F-16s and tank shells, and the international community is waiting. The way the international community is dealing with the Gazans is unfortunately as numbers. Now it's 1,200 people who were killed. That's only